How do you guys like my new sunglasses? Yesterday, my dear friend, Governor Chris Christie, governor of my state of New Jersey, announced the presidency. Now, I'm not endorsing any candidates, at least not yet, except for myself, Shmuley, 2016. Why not? Everyone else is running. But I do admire the governor, and journalists who know of our relationship, especially my recent meeting with him and Elie Wiesel, called me and said what I thought about his experience in foreign policy. Would he be an effective purveyor of American foreign policy and American might, as he says. I responded that no person, less so a governor who's focused on very domestic issues, goes to the presidency with any kind of real foreign policy experience. And the truth is, this video is not about Chris Christie or anyone else. Rather, I said, what we look for in a leader, whether it's Hillary Clinton and the Democrats, whether it's any of the Republican presidential candidates, is a value system. Now, what do I think is one of the most important values that has to be brought for a successful and more muscular American foreign policy? It's basically something that will surprise you. It's a hatred of evil. Now, my Christian brothers and sisters say you're not allowed to hate. I mean, doesn't Jesus say you should love your enemies? Doesn't Jesus say you should turn the other cheek? Notice that Jesus says you should love your enemies. He doesn't say you should love God's enemies. Your enemy is the guy that steals your parking spot. God's enemies are those who engage in genocide and slaughter God's children. People like Bashar al-Assad, who's killed 200,000 people, including chemical weapons to kill thousands of innocent Arab children. There's been no response. And when Jesus says turn the other cheek, he means turn the other cheek to little slights. Turn the other cheeks to petty insults. He does not mean turn the other cheek to a Holocaust, or the Rwandan genocide, or the indiscriminate slaughter of Arabs in Syria, or ISIS. A hatred of evil means that you have a leader that sees that there's an entity which is cruel, that defines themselves almost entirely by their hatred of others, who are animated by an irrational hatred, and you summon the willpower to stop these people. You don't hate them intrinsically, of course. You hate them because of their abrogation of all decency, morality, goodness, and ethics. And you understand that they are a threat to civilization, and they're a threat to human life. A good example is how Abraham Lincoln said that he hated slavery. For him, it was a moral abomination, and he was prepared to expend a lot of American lives and treasure to end that practice and to keep the Union together. Another example is Winston Churchill, who said, Another example is Winston Churchill, who said, I hate no man but Hitler. He spoke of Hitler as someone he hated. But wouldn't any moral person hate Hitler? What, are you going to be indifferent on someone like Hitler? The greatest monster that ever lived? But that's how we're supposed to feel also to organizations like ISIS. ISIS doesn't just murder people, they revel in it. They're truly bloodthirsty. They feel more masculine when they decapitate people. They're vile, monstrous, and disgusting. The government of Iran, that brutal, murderous government that hangs gay men from cranes, that threatens the Jews of Israel with annihilation every day to kind of shore up their fraudulent machismo, let alone their absolute fraudulent interpretation of religion, that religion is about murdering people when God says clearly you should love thy neighbor as thyself. So what I'd be looking for, Democrat or Republican, in the next president, is someone who speaks openly about their hatred of evil and who are animated by a desire to resist evil. Without that, we're going to continue to have a total morass, total chaos in the Middle East, and things are not going to get better.